bringing you your favorite new MCs. It's Dormville.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You know what to say when I wait, when I can't look. You know what to say when I go, when I'm late.
What's going on, everybody? It's Mike Hood, my co-host.
Backstage Phantom.
And it's Dormville Season 2. We're kicking off Season 2 with rapper Boooka. How you doing, man?
Yerp, in the house, Boooka.
Yo, first off, we want to jump off with saying, bro, this is a man out of my hometown, Lawton, Oklahoma, Shady 580, 580, baby. Like, hold on, bro. Like, I
ain't heard Shady 580 in so long.
Bro, that was middle school till I left, bro. That was everything that everyone was yelling, bro. Yo, I'm from the Shady 580. I was like, bro, y'all live on the east side, bro. Whatever.
I got so much good and bad out of Lawton, man. It's one of those cities like if you know, you know.
Facts, yo. But to jump in first, we just want to talk about how has music changed your life? Like, what made you want to get into music and dabble with music and stuff?
Oh, it's actually what how old was I? I started I think when I was around 11 or 12, and music honestly was never really like nothing big growing up. My family was like never really into music, any musical background. But when Lil Wayne went on his run in 2007, 2008, when he went on that run, I remember hearing Wayne and I was like, that's exactly what I want to do. And I just remember I used to come home and I used to like just write hella raps on my computer and shit, like just try to like, you know what I'm saying, just be Lil Wayne so much. So he's definitely like was somebody who inspired me to start making music. And I always liked writing. I feel like I always liked writing, but putting like writing over like a beat, I never imagined that it'd be as fun as it is.
When did that start for you?
Making music?
Yeah.
I was making music I can't think of the years right now, but I know I started recording music when I was in the sixth grade. No, in the seventh grade. Seventh grade is when I recorded my first track off my my laptop, and I actually found beats off of fucking LimeWire. When LimeWire was the thing, I literally found a Pac-Man beat. I recorded it, and I remember burning a bunch of CDs with one track on it and passing them out in cases at school, and people thinking that it was a mixtape. Like, nah, it's only one song. But I didn't really start like taking it serious for real until I want to say like late 2014 is when I was kind of like this is some shit that I feel like I could really be successful with, you know what I'm saying, and have this be my career path.
Yo, and you said that like Wayne was one of your inspirations. So do you still look at him like with his whole absence from music for a little bit and then he jumped back in with the Carter 5? Was that like you were ready for it, or was it like, all right, I see you, you know?
Oh, I loved it. I was definitely ready for it. I was definitely one of the people like just sitting back, like counting down, waiting for him to come out with something. And something told me, like, especially when the Carter 5 came out, something told me it was gonna be like some vintage Wayne. And I definitely feel like we got like some vibes on that.
Yo, jumping into your music, the Alone is your most recent song the only song that you dropped so far in 2019. And when listening to that song, you talk about a girl and you're talking about you make the crib into a home. Is that about somebody, or is that just like a mood and you're like I gotta write this down or something?
Nah, that was definitely inspired by my shorty. A lot of the music that I make is just based on like whatever I might have been through like at the time. Like it's hard for me to like write about something that I haven't gone through or haven't been or not going through at the moment. So that's definitely was inspired by that.
Yo, facts, bro. I'm gonna jump into like my favorite song that you have out so far that's on all platforms that you were released on. Say So. Like, can you take us into the making of that and like how that?
Yeah, definitely. So Say So was actually shout out my producer, one of my homeboys, Encore, which I met him, which is crazy because I live in Atlanta right now. I've lived in Atlanta for about 3 years, and I put out my mixtape, my first tape, as time went on, I put that out, and I was, you know what I'm saying, I'm still working at a dead end job, pretty much just releasing music, you know, with the highest of hopes. And I remember putting that out, and then one of my coworkers was like, "Hey, I slid my tape to my homeboy. He make beats, and he really fuck with you, so he wanted me to like, you know what I'm saying, do some work together." So come to find out, mind you, I've been living in Atlanta for 3 years. Come to find out, this nigga live like down the street from me. Like I could walk to his house, and he been living here this whole time, and just making cold ass beats, and I ain't even know. We linked up. He made some beats on the spot. I wrote some songs on the spot, and then every now and again he just be sending me beats. And instantly when I heard it, I already knew like this this beat is crazy. The inspiration of it, I mean, as you can see by the song, the inspiration was pretty much, I was kind of under the thing where like nobody does anything unless the next person say so, you know, unless you got a bunch of yes men and stuff. My favorite part about that song actually was my second verse. The second verse on that song is because I feel like I said something specifically when I said I had a whole year with no movement. Came back, the niggas checking the move list, and what I was really like trying to gauge was the fact that I had been like without dropping music for so long. I think I probably went like 3-4 years without really dropping anything like seriously. And then I said that in the verse to kind of let niggas know like I'm here to like show them that I'm gonna be consistent with my work.
Bet. So for consistency's sake, are you gonna drop a big project, or is it gonna be singles for the rest of this year?
Nah, I'm definitely looking towards dropping a project this year. I don't really have any concepts when it comes to me like really making my process as far as like making a project. I always end up making a lot of songs, and then either I feel like they don't fit and I end up just releasing singles, or I mean that's pretty much how it goes. But definitely this year is about making a project to package up and deliver all in one.
Are you one of those people that like has like just like a thumb drive or something, and it has just like just a shitload of music on it? You're just like, yeah, no, it's not good enough. I'm not gonna release it. And everybody's like pushing you, like, bro, yes, go ahead, release it, bro.
yes, sir. I definitely am. I got a lot of my homeboys that I'm real close with that, you know, I work together with them. The guy who mixes my music most of the time, like really like 95% of the time, his name is Jerry. Jerry has all of my music from like 2013 up until now. And I think if I was to go like off of my head, I probably put out maybe around 20-25 songs, but I've probably made like 100 songs.
Do you think you'll ever go back and like dig through that vault and like put something out?
That always happens. So like the most important thing is recording the music. And you know, at the time, like I might not fuck with it. You know, I might not really fuck with it. I might not be feeling comfortable with putting this out because, you know, your name is on it. But what may not be a banger to you right now, like a year later, you might be playing it and be like, damn, like that was a banger. And that's just how it goes. That's what happens with a lot of my music too.
Jump into like the topic I wanted to talk about the most, bro, is growing up in Lawton. Was it like, did you born and raised, or like how did that work for you?
Nah, not born and raised. So my pops actually joined the military while I was in Lawton. So I was probably there for about 6 years, 6-7 years. Still really too young to like know all the shit that was going on. But I grew up, you know when you grew up around shit and you didn't really recognize what was going on, and then now that you're grown, you like, damn, like that shit was right in my face.
Right.
That's how I was. So I was I say I'm from Lawton because that's where I spend majority of my time from. Between Lawton and definitely Seattle. I spent a lot of my time in Seattle too.
Yo, how old were you whenever you lived in Lawton?
I didn't move from Lawton until I was about 7.
Okay. So you was like young. Okay.
Yeah, I used to just go there and visit my cousins. Like as I was growing up, I was because my auntie and my cousins, they've been there their whole life, and they stayed in Jaceland Apartments by Pat Henry Elementary School. I don't even know if Pat Henry's still there, but I stayed right by Pat Henry, and I visit there so often. I haven't been there in a minute. Last time I've been there, I was 19. I was 19 years old last time I've been there.
Damn, bro. I was like, whenever we were reading like the Spotify like bio, and it was like Lawton, Oklahoma. I was like, bro, nobody's from Lawton, bro. He's lying, bro. I was like, hey, ain't nobody from Lawton that ever leaves, bro.
Hey, ain't nobody gonna lie about being from Lawton.
I was like, bro, maybe I was like, I don't know where you could possibly be from that you want to say that you're from Lawton. I'm like, bro, every city around Lawton is so much better. I'm like, maybe he was like military and moved through Lawton like for a little bit, and it was just like, yeah, no, everybody else was, but nah, that's crazy, bro. Because I was like, and then when you text me, I was like 580. I was like, bro, this is a lie, bro. There's no way.
I was thinking the same thing because I had got one of y'all numbers. I think I got your number off that email, and I seen the 580, and I was like, damn, that's crazy. I ain't never even seen anybody else with the 580. Like, you just don't be meeting nobody from Oklahoma, period, let alone from Lawton.
Right, bro. The last time I met someone from Lawton, we all went to, it was Mike and some of our other friends. We went to the Texas State Fair, and we were on the bus, right?
Yeah,
bro. We were on a bus to get back to the house. And this dude, I don't even know how this dude started talking to me. And then he was like, oh, yeah, I'm from Lawton. I was like, oh, word, same. And he was like, oh, I graduated from Eisenhower. And I was like, oh, bro, no, I went to Mac. And he was like, oh, da, da, da. And dude just like kept talking to me the entire ride till we got to the train station. I was like, bro, that's crazy. One other thing that we want to talk about was the impact of music on its listeners. And that's something that I feel like is something that no one takes seriously, because people make like shitloads of party music and don't really, they're like, oh yeah, bro, like it's out there, rather than like making music with substance that has something, that has a message, that has a story behind it.
Mm-hmm.
So like how do you perceive that, like party music versus
that's very factual as far as like the impact on it. There's actually two artists that made me kind of decide what kind of artist I wanted to be when I was like making music, when I first started making music. And I remember Common. I love Common. Still to this day, Common is one of my biggest inspirations, musically, character wise too, like everything that he does. And I remember watching BET back in the day when 106 in Park was popping, and you used to come home from school and, and get right on 106 in Park. I remember he was getting an award, and his award was he was getting an award for never having like women in music video, like being like sexual and seductive, pretty much just using women just to sell a music video. And when I seen that, I was like, damn, that's crazy, because I didn't even really realize like that he never did that. And all the times like you see that throughout music videos. And he didn't do that, and he didn't do that to be, and he was successful with what he was doing too. So that had really inspired me to be like somebody to make a positive, like, what I'm saying, like a positive impact on my listeners.
Right.
And then Kendrick, when Kendrick came out, I think the first song I heard by Kendrick Lamar was that High Power was the first song I heard by him. And the way he was like really like rapping, the way he was really trying, like I didn't really realize before Kendrick came out, a lot of stuff that was out musically was really subpar. Like I feel like niggas wasn't really trying. I feel like niggas was really just getting by. And then and then when Kendrick came, I just feel like it kind of forced a lot of other artists that were in the game currently at that time to really step up. But I would say like they definitely made me want to like make a positive impact, leave a positive impact on listeners.
You say you think Kendrick made artists want to step up. My like, what I think would be like the counterpoints to that would be like, I think that people heard Kendrick and were like, oh shit, like we don't have to listen to fucking the same like repetitive bullshit over and over and over again, but just like repackaged and rebrand with another like person's name or flow on it, rather than like, oh, like this dude's really over here like rapping, like coming bar for bar, like he can go with some of the greats and go with the OGs, rather than like, oh yeah, everyone else just like makes music just to make music. He's making music because that's his craft.
Yeah, he was really definitely like it was like nothing to this day it was like nothing he couldn't do musically, like no type of music he couldn't make, and it would just sound good no matter what.
But like to backtrack to what Backstage just said, like Do you feel like there's any diversity in hip hop? Like, are we just looking for the same music but packaged in a different way? You know, because I feel like when somebody comes along with a different sound, we're just really quick to say like, "Oh, that's trash. He's trash. What is he doing?" Some new guy comes in and sounds like what's currently in the mainstream today. We're all just, "Oh, he's great. This is a good guy."
I feel like people definitely look for. I feel like there's two things people look for. People look for new shit. They definitely like want to hear something new. Always want to hear something new, and I don't mean like new as far as like a new type of sound. Like, you know, like few artists came in the game and really like just created a genre. But I feel like people look for new as far as like just something fresh, something that keeps up. And I feel like not only that, people look for real shit. Whatever your reality is, like if you somebody who's into like street rap, or if you into like the conscious music, the politically charged music, like people at the end of the day, people just like to hear real shit. And there's so many ways you can deliver that. So I feel like uh people definitely look for diversity, and it is important because you don't want to hear the same thing. You're going to hear the same thing as far as like content wise, but you want to hear it in a lot of different ways. So people definitely look for like stuff to be packaged differently. Diversity definitely is important.
Yo, do you think with like hip hop or hip hop not becoming, but since it is like the dominant music in current times, do you think that has shifted hip hop to like make it? I don't want to say like the same flavor, like everything's vanilla, but like more people are looking for. All right, I want a song that can get on the radio. I want a song that can be played at parties. Those are the two things that I want. And then you get those two songs on your album, and then that's how you that's how people, the majority of people would ship out an album, or like labels like Atlantic or whatever would ship out an album. It's like you have a party song, or you have a radio play song, or you have both. You know what I mean? Do you think that that's gonna be, or not become, but do you think that that is gonna start to overtake the people that actually want to listen for actual content?
You mean like as far as like the formula of putting music out, like how they just put out like radio music to promote music, to promote like albums and stuff?
Yeah, so like rather than like having one song on your album of 20 songs or 12 songs or however long you want to make it, rather than just having that one either radio play song or that one party song that you know is going to get a lot of buzz, like Mo Bamba just gets a lot of buzz at a party right now. So it's like, rather than having those, do you think that people are going to be like going along that J. Cole route where he's like, nah, bro, like I don't need a feature. I just need to like put the album out. I don't need to preview anything. I'm just going to put the album out. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I mean, honestly, I talk to my homeboy about this all the time. It's really just rules. Like it's certain things you can and can't do, and it's all about who you are. Like generally, like that formula of releasing music, like a radio hit, and then ride off the radio, ride off the buzz of that, and put out the album, and like a bunch of crazy promo and all that. Generally, you know, like videos and stuff, like that's usually the process of like getting ready to put something. But I mean, just depending on who you are, like you can, if you know what I'm saying, like the Jay-Z's and the Kanye's, Beyonce's, like you can really just put something out and just surprise it. And people appreciate it a lot more. Like you might even get a lot more buzz just off of that. The fact that you just dropped it like out of nowhere. So it's really, I mean, it's really just rules. It's really just rules to the game. But you know what I'm saying? Everybody else has a different set of rules. You just got to know what lane you in to base your decision off of.
Would you prefer, like, say in the next 2-3 years, like you start to get that, like you hit that radio play level and you're hitting like these different levels to where you're like, I don't want to say bigger, like as in like the sense that you're a small person, but like you've gained that level. Would you prefer to be able to just be like, hey guy, like talk to your fans and be like, I have a project coming out, and then you put out the project? Or would you prefer to be able to just be like, all right, here's a single and then here's the project?
I would prefer, honestly, to just drop that shit. And the reason being is because like the hardest part, like the hardest part about making music isn't even making the music. And that's simply the fact because like promoing this shit is so strategic. Like it's very, very time consuming. You really have to put a thought behind like whenever you're about to package something out to deliver it. Um and it's a lot of social media. And I really don't like being on social media, but I feel like it's definitely like when you running a business in this day and age. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it is. You're running a business. It's hard to really have a successful business without dominating the social media platforms. And so I would love to be at that level where you see a bunch of artists who have Instagram pages like J. Cole, Kendrick, like all these big artists. They have Instagram pages, but they don't have shit on them because they don't have to use them. Like I don't even know why they have Instagrams. Like I don't have any posts or anything, and they just drop music, and we gonna hear it because that's the artist that we, what I'm saying, that we grew up with, that we really fuck with. So I would really love to be able to just let the music speak for itself. Like that is that's the dream, just to let the music speak for itself without any of the gimmicks, promos, any of the extra shit.
The promo game is so crazy too. Like, it's just like it's like what you have to do now to blow up is that you have to do something like super big and super crazy and like
you gotta jump through hoops.
Exactly. Like you gotta go through like some not even Kanye type promo that he did last year, more like Soulja Boy type stuff. Just be a clown. And
well, pause, bro, because like Soulja Boy, I don't think that he's a clown. I think that it's like he's played this shit out so fucking well right now. Like
Soulja Boy, because he really showed us that like that MySpace shit, like.
Bro, yeah, because like he went from like this is I guess his quote unquote like second coming, because he went from MySpace like taking all these popular songs and then putting his song under that cover art and under that name and finessed literally everybody. And then now it's like he like whenever he was on the Breakfast Club and he had like the whole Drake meme came about, it's like he's done it in such a way that right now everybody has all eyes on him, rather than like you look at somebody that who beefed with he beefed with Chris Brown last year, right?
Yeah.
So at that point I think he fucked up. Like whenever he was trying to do the beef with Chris Brown, I was like, bro, like this is not the right way to go about it. Because right now, after the whole console, after the Breakfast Club interview, after
the academic show.
Yeah, after the academics, like whenever he was talking to Ak on Everyday Struggle, like he's put himself right now on this plateau to be able to do whatever he wants right now. Mm-hmm. So right now, if he decided to drop a project, I guarantee you it could be hot fucking trash. Yeah, but
I just heard some shit from him. I didn't listen to it. I was kind of just scrolling through my IG and I seen some new shit by him. That nigga snapping. I ain't gonna lie. That's my man's right there. He was really going off. I don't know what I heard, but
was it that my name is Soulja, and then he spells out his name and he starts going, he's in a car or something?
I don't think that was it. I don't think that was it. It sounded like some Migos shit. Like he upgraded his flow like 10 times and he was like really going all the way in. And I was just so like I was blown away.
Bro, do you think anything's gonna come out of this? Do you think that he's gonna like actually turn back into a big name?
Nah, honestly, I don't. I think I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't really think so. Cause I feel like at the same time, he's one of those artists that I feel like people don't appreciate. Like there's a lot of artists that made music that aren't really appreciated, that really made a way and made a lane for a lot of niggas. I feel like he's one of those. I don't know. I mean, unless his music is like really, really, really that crazy, but I feel like people just don't take him serious for some reason. When he's like really a genius. Like if you could sit down in a room with Soulja and really soak up game, like you would realize like he's not an idiot. Like he's smart as fuck.
Do you think who else do you think, because you say there are other people that are like unappreciated, who else do you think is like falls into that category of people that make that music but we can't appreciate it?
I definitely think Roscoe Dash. I definitely think Roscoe Dash is underappreciated because he was a
Bro.
fucking hit maker.
Bro, I haven't heard that name since I was little, bro.
He's a hit, and I think he just dropped a long ass album. Like I think it had like maybe 50 songs on there. I didn't go through it yet. I definitely did listen to him, like a few of them. He's still making bangers, like you know what I'm saying. And he was making the beats and shit. Like I feel like he definitely is not disrespected because I haven't heard a lot. I haven't heard any slander on him. Just underappreciated. And Bow Wow for sure. People love to hate Bow Wow for some reason. And I remember actually a crazy story because I work at a store, a Sprint store, and Bow Wow comes into the store, and nobody like wants to make it seem like they knew, like they didn't know it was Bow Wow all of a sudden. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like nobody wanted to be starstruck.
Bro.
This shit was just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like, cause everybody knew Bow Wow. Like, it's like you knew him from when he was a kid to like when he was like running 106 in Park, and then now he's still like doing his thing, like to a lesser extent. But I mean, like, I don't think that there was ever a point where he just like quote unquote fell off. He just kind of moved to a different lane, and then they did the whole Bow Wow challenge.
Yeah, I was gonna say like he took a long string of L's like that one year, the Bow Wow challenge, pretending to be rich but he wasn't.
Yeah. I mean, I don't honestly see why he couldn't be rich. I mean, I understand that he's not, but
I feel like a lot of that shit is planned. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Trolling has been the thing to do for years, and that's what he was doing. That's grade A trolling right there. Like, trolling will get you trending, and I feel like that's exactly what he did. 'Cause I know my nigga not broke. You know what I'm saying? Like, this nigga's he been in hella movies. I know right. Well, shit, I was listening to Shorty Like Mine not too long ago. I know somebody else. You know, I know somebody else is still banging Bow Wow. I know these niggas still ringing out streams. He getting paid off of movies. Like, bro, like it's kind of like no publicity is bad publicity. Like if you get talked about, like, you know, and it's crazy because even that R. Kelly shit, like that's crazy because they was talking about. I think that nigga streams went up. Like, come on. Like, if niggas talking about you, period. Like, I ain't gonna say it's always good gonna come out of it, but
right.
You know what I'm saying? If niggas get to talking about you, like, that's the step one. You want people to talk about you, nonetheless.
So backtrack. You were saying trolling is like that's the way right now. Like that's how you kind of get your name up. That's how you get your buzz up. How do you feel about what was it? Uzi got off on the song.
The EXO Tour Live?
No, bro. I'm talking about, not Uzi, Yachty. Bro, when Yachty first came out and that kid made like that little short video of what's the name of the song?
One Night.
Yeah, he made the little meme of One Night, and then because the kid couldn't make it to the One Night video, like the kid is like nowhere to be found right now. Like made one meme, blew Yachty all the way up, and now it's just kind of like,
I didn't even know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, bro, because, like, literally nobody cared about him. Like, no one really gave a fuck about the song. Everybody was, like, retweeting and, like, sharing the thing on Instagram and whatnot. And it's, like, but then people were like, oh, yo, like, what's this song? Because eventually it kind of got that buzz around. And so then people were like, oh, I guess I'll start listening to this.
Like, I remember, the damn Black Beatles challenge. When that shit took all the way off. Like, niggas who don't even, like, listen to hip hop or know who Ray Shrimmer is, but them niggas know that Black Beetle challenge and they posting the videos and shit. Like, it's so crazy, like how that shit can really just take off. If something gets turned into a meme, like that shit will take off all the way.
Do you think that would you want to see yourself take off in that manner? Like, say you go to like a bunch of local businesses and then you have a song and then they kind of do like a challenge out of the song, like regardless of what it is, or you go to some kids, or not kids, but like you go to a bunch of different people and you're like, hey, turn this song into a meme or turn this little snippet into a meme. Like, would you think that would like compromise your like integrity as an artist, or do you think that the come up is the come up regardless?
Nah, I definitely don't think. I mean, I wouldn't say the come up is the come up regardless, but I think something like that's innocent, and that's kind of a lot of things. Like, at least I could imagine that's some of those things aren't really even in your control. You know, like it's like I feel like most of those things just came like somebody fucked with it. They just did something random and it just took off, and it just happens to work in your favor. So now, and I wouldn't really feel like that would be like crush my integrity as an artist. I would love for somebody to just out of the love of the song do some crazy shit and then everybody else just follow suit. That'd be dope.
Once that song blows up, would you capitalize on it? Kind of like who's the guy that made the Whip Nay Nay song? It's just
Bro, I don't think he did anything after that. Like
He
he made
didn't
a
do-
couple of like a couple of things after it, but like where is he now? You know what I'm saying?
Saying as far as like how would you or like would you capital?
would you?
You said would I?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. You see what I'm saying? Stay ready so you don't gotta get ready. That's a fact. Definitely just have like just record like because again I'm gonna go back to like really just letting the music speak for us. 'Cause I mean immediately if somebody were to find, you know what I'm saying, they gonna wonder what the rest of the shit. And, you know what I'm saying? That's when you really come out with that. And I remember who I think the probably the best example that I think about that I follow is I remember when what grade I can't remember years, so I gotta go back to grades. I was in the ninth grade. Yes, ninth grade. I was living in Davenport, Iowa, and I remember I was asking my homeboy like about who his favorite rappers were and shit like that, and he told me Tyler the Creator, and I'm like, Brian, never heard of that shit. Like, who the fuck is Tyler? And then he put a video on, and I'm like, damn, this nigga eating a cockroach.
Oh, bro, that Yonkers video, bro.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, what the hell is going on right now? And this shit really just took off because that video was so like demented, and it was just the shit he was rapping about. It was just so out there, and it was
Bro,
it was.
I know he.
And I just remember like after that, like watching how every time I seen him after that, like he was just leveling up and leveling up. So it was like he grabbed everybody's attention with that Yonker shit, and then after that, it was like, hold on, like you know what I'm saying? This he can really snap. Like he making the beats and all that. Like they really got something, and they was just getting better. And so that's what I kind of think about when I think about people capitalizing off of you know what I'm saying, like a good move in their favor.
Bro, that's a really good example because I remember whenever he was talking about it, not too recently, but like a little bit ago, he was talking about how like, yeah, nah, Yonkers, I don't even like that shit. It was just like a New York, like he was just trying to like make fun of New York rap, and I was just like, bro, like that whole video, like without that entire song, you probably would be like, you'd be not a SoundCloud rapper, but you'd be like, you wouldn't be at the level, you wouldn't have had a TV show, you wouldn't have had like a whole crew, like.
Thanks, man. Shout out to my man, because that's an icon. That's a walking legend right there. I don't know if anybody else know that yet, but that's a living legend. When that shit is all said and done,
bro, if he just keeps making the moves that he's making at this point, it's like, bro, there's nobody else can make music the way he makes music, and nobody can touch him because he's in he's in a lane all of it, like all to himself. You know?
And you know, and it's dope because he fucks with Pharrell. First of all, Pharrell is my favorite producer of all time, and he fucks with Nerd. Fucks with Nerd heavy, and I fuck with Nerd super heavy too. And so it's so dope to see like him incorporating those like the Nerd style instrumentals and shit, the style music into his own. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that shit just trickles down and it just goes to other people. I fuck with Nerds so heavy, and I think that's part of the reason why I fuck with Tyler, because he has those same kind of vibes from song to song.
So one of the other topics that you said you want to talk about whenever we talked earlier was alcohol and drug abuse.
Mm-hmm.
So like with a lot of rappers nowadays, they like to turn to alcohol or some sort of other vice and kind of like not necessarily promote it, but they glorify it and kind of make it into some sort of icon type thing. And you know, I just wanted to get your like personal view on that. Like, where do you stand with, you know, just talking about alcohol or drugs is something that you do, or kind of like glorify it and mystifying it and trying to make it into this whole big thing that everybody should partake in?
Yeah, it's terrible, and that's what I'm talking about as well as too when I say like hearing the artists that I grew up listening to, the artists I chose to listen to, and kind of making a positive impact on listeners. Because when you look at a lot of the shit that's out today, like a lot of the wrong shit gets put up for everybody to hear, and and we, you know what I'm saying, like we really learn through music, like we really learn through that shit. We kind of depict from music off of what is a certain way that we should be, ways that we should talk, things that we should say, ways we should dress, like all off of music. And now in music is literally everything is lean, 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 drugs, niggas just off the drink. You know what I'm saying? And that's just really crazy to me. And I wish some particular artists would kind of realize the power that they have. And I know they can really say like, I didn't ask, what role models always try to say. They always, whenever they fuck up, they'll say, I didn't ask to be a role model. You know what I'm saying? I didn't ask to be like this. You know what I'm saying? I'm not your mom and your dad, so I don't know why I'm your role model. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, nigga, you are. So
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the power it gets misused.
Do you think that with KOD coming out last year, like, do you think that was just like a phenomenal move on J. Cole?
Oh yeah, I'm pro J. Cole everything. So that was a brilliant album. Oh my god, and that damn, what's that song? I think the
The
song
Middle?
was called Once an Addict. I think it was when
Oh,
he
yeah,
told
yeah.
the story about his mom. Like, was that the one?
Um,
He was telling the story about his mom, like pretty much just being an alcoholic type shit.
right.
But if that's the one, I feel like that one definitely resonated, and that's just it's just a smart move, like understanding like what's going on, and really just painting a picture about it without exploiting it too. That's important. Without really exploiting it, like that was a beautiful album.
Do you think, because I remember seeing like a video probably like last year, and it was like in the beginning of hip hop, it was like people would talk about obviously like don't do drugs. Then it was like rappers became drug dealers, and so then it was like I'm only doing this because I need to do this because this is how I'm gonna get out of the hood or I'm gonna get out of my predicament. And then it turned into like, oh well, yeah, I smoke weed, but like rada rada rada, and like they continue to talk about that. And then now it's like we're in the era of rappers that are like substance abusers, like that are just like just pop 4 Xans, right? And like then they just like that's a bar for them. And I'm like,
Yeah.
do you think that there's gonna be a new step, a new evolution to where it's like I get not an anti-drug wave, but like a leaning off of that or a weaning off of that?
Hell no, I don't see that no time soon. Honestly,
Yeah.
but partially too is not to put the blame on the artist, because from what you said, like some artists do just do shit like that because that's what's selling. You know what I'm saying? They want to obviously, the biggest thing now is everybody talked about securing the bag. I'm securing the bag. I'm getting the check. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of niggas will do that type of music because that's what the people want to hear. So it's really not it's really at the end of the day, it's not the artist's fault at all. And I'll never knock somebody else like for just going out and getting the bag. Um, it's really the consumer. Like if people didn't want to hear that shit, and it was proven that nobody wants to hear shit like that, the music would never. I mean, it might be made, but it wouldn't be on the big stage that it is right now.
Right.
Like it's just like the perfect example was like when it comes to women, like niggas be saying like, oh, like I want my girl to not be like, I don't want my girl to be all on the gram shaking her ass and half naked and just doing all this shit wilding out, titties out. But then what do niggas be on the gram doing? Like looking at naked bitches.
Right. It's like, yo, I shouldn't be able to go to your explore page and see the same thing that you talking that you don't want to see, bro. Like,
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Just liking everything, a hard eyes hopping in DMs, but it's like, yo, I thought you said you didn't want that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's just like how it is, you feel me?
What do you think? Do you see? I want to say like this. Do you see like a new wave of hip hop ever like coming within the next few years? Like, do you think that there's gonna be like a new rap renaissance with like Cole trying to like bring up everybody in Dreamville right now, and like that whole like the whole group being cultivated into like these phenomenal rappers and whatnot. Like,
Yeah.
do you see that there's gonna ever be like a, all right, well, all you like little whoever's are kind of like outdated and are getting shoot off?
Yeah, I definitely feel like because I know like if you're a hip hop listener, like if that's your preference of genre, you're naturally gonna end up hearing like all the little rappers, like the little pumps and stuff like that. But to casual listeners, you might not hear that. Like if you're a casual listener of hip hop, like you don't see the little pumps and the little yachties and like the little Zans, like all those rappers. You hear like Drake, you hear Jay-Z, you hear Cardi B, you hear Nicki, and I say that to say a lot of those rappers you hear don't rap about the shit that we're talking about right now. And I see pretty much with what I saw Top Dog Entertainment do, Kendrick and all his boys, how they put together the Black Panther album, which was a big move. It was really a gigantic move. I mean, because if you think about it, like here's this artist that everybody fucks with. He took all his niggas and he put all his niggas on one album and put it on one of the biggest movies. It might have been the biggest movie of whatever year was that last year, whenever Black Panther came out.
Yeah.
He put it on the biggest movie. And so now, like as a casual listener, you'll come across that and you know what I'm saying, you'll hear this music. And I'm thinking like now, like with Revenge of the Dreamers 3, like the shit I'm seeing, I think Revenge of the Dreamers 3 is really gonna shake up the game. Cause it's just like they're trying to compete. You know what I'm saying? Like they're trying to compete with each other. I remember Jis at that playing his day. He said he's trying to be like Top Dog. And I think that's like what the game is kind of might be going towards is niggas really just putting their niggas on, getting into groups, and really just making like dope ass music. And a lot of the niggas that are doing it now, they don't really rap about the shit that you know what I'm saying that we normally hear.
So you think it's gonna be like the resurgence of like group rap? So it's like, you know, like Wu Tangs and Mob Deeps and stuff like that. You think that kind of
Yeah,
vibe is coming back? Okay.
I definitely think when Revenge of the Dreamers come out, like all that, I think that's definitely gonna make like niggas really get on their shit like as far as groups, cause really like you can't do this shit by yourself. Period. You really can't do you, and that's what anything you do, you really can't do this shit by yourself. Period. And I think that's just the dream that everybody wants. Like everybody wants to be able to be on with they niggas and just get after what they always dreamed of getting. And with the way that the media or these white people like really want black people on music now. They just want all black everything. Like it's gonna give like black artists nothing but opportunity. Like who would have ever thought? First of all, who the hell would have ever thought that we would have got a fucking Black Panther movie? That's crazy. But then fuck around, we get a Black Panther movie and we get fucking Kendrick Lamar like making the soundtrack for it.
Right.
Like nobody would have ever thought that shit would happen. Like, and you got Colin Kaepernick, like not the face of Nike, but Colin Kaepernick is doing his thing with Nike. Like hip hop is just running. Like hip hop and black people are just running everything, and you would have never thought that shit would happen. It just builds too much opportunity for everybody to get a plate.
Facts. Yo, you talking about everyone needs a team and everybody's like that's the dream for everyone. One of our artists that we talked to last season, Bruce Lee 777, shout out my boy Bruce. He's Atlanta based as well, and so he was telling us back then that he was like everyone in Atlanta is like in the music scene. It's like everyone knows everyone. Is kind of like a clique. Like everyone's linked up and meshed together. Like, do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I definitely feel like that. I definitely feel like Atlanta, since I've been here, it's definitely it's definitely a thing to know the right people. It definitely is a thing to know the right people as far as like getting plugged in and like like networking, like really networking in Atlanta is so easy because first of all, everybody does something, like not just music, but niggas that have podcasts, photography, videos, niggas that have fashion lines, like, and everybody can everybody can benefit from each other. And I mean that's kind of how it is. Um, like really the way it is people will fuck with you if it's to their advantage. But I mean that's kind of, I think Kanye said it best. He said if you can't be used, you're useless. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how it
Right.
is. So it's a gift and a curse in my opinion. But I mean that's just the way it is.
Yo, this is like a big backtrack on my part, my bad. But you how what was it like? Cause you're a military kid, so what was it like? You know, as a kid moving a lot, and as like in high school, like what was that whole period like after leaving Lawton?
Uh, it was. I mean, the hardest part was really just like learning to be the new kid because you move so often. So really, like learning to be the new kid is something like learning to really to integrate yourself into different cliques and different groups of people. Cause not every time that you go somewhere, you're gonna go somewhere where you're gonna see other families in the military or whatever the case may be. Um, when I moved to Davenport, Iowa was the first place that I was where I was. We moved there because of the military, but there wasn't really any military people there. So
Right.
so now I'm in a city where niggas done been here their whole life. Like niggas done been here 15, 14, 16 years, and then here come this new nigga. And I feel like a lot of times, like when niggas was moving to Davenport, like niggas was moving from like Chicago or something. Like somewhere where they're kind of still really familiar, they like familiar with what's going on, somebody know you. And I feel like I went there with a fresh face. And I felt like that was the hardest place for me to really like integrate myself into because it's not really as it's not really as normal or accepting like in places like that. Because when you go to like a place where you're a military, like you're in the military and you got other military families and shit, like them niggas is already used to like moving everywhere and being the new face. So y'all hit off like instantly already hitting it off because you already know what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But other than that, like I didn't, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't really like nothing too crazy. My pops, he used to deploy. He used to deploy all the time. Like I think every other year he was in the army and he did supply, like some kind of supply shit. I still don't know what he did to this day. But he deployed a lot, so he be gone like years at a time, or not years, but every other year it felt like he was really just gone. So it was just me and my mom there. So other than that, just regular day to day shit, really.
Bro, no, I feel that, bro, because I remember, like, I'm like, I want to say I'm like the anti-military kid because, like, instead of being like moved around all the time, like I moved when I was a baby, and then we stayed in Lawton, and then we moved to Oregon for 1 year, moved back right to Lawton, and then my dad deployed for those 18 months in like Iraq, stayed in Lawton, and then like I stayed there to my freshman year of high school, and I was just kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever. And then they were like, oh, yeah, so we're going to Texas. I was like, wait, pause, bro. Like, I was like, yo, pause. I got 3 more years to do high school. What are y'all talking about? And so then I moved to Arlington. I'm like, bro, nobody there is like, there's like all retired military people. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
everybody went to elementary school, pre-K, middle school, and I'm like, bro, like, oh hey, and it was like one of them big ass schools. So it was like my graduating class was like 700 plus. So I'm like to this day, like people be like, oh, do you know so and so? I'm like, who? They're like, they graduated with you. I'm like, bro, I was there for 3 years. I don't know any of those people, bro.
Yeah,
I'm like,
and you know,
but
and what you were saying, I remember my first time because when my dad was in joining the military when I was a kid. So I remember my first time moving. I was kind of still really like young to process what was going on, and we moved to not Seattle. We moved to Lakewood, like Tacoma, Washington area.
yeah,
It's by Seattle, but I remember we moved there, and I was probably there for like 4 years, and then we upped and moved. So that was the first time that I really was in somewhere and I was conscious of what was going on, and then we just got up and moved. and I ain't understand it. I was just like, wait, what the fuck? Like, we just moving, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that shit was so crazy because you know what I'm saying. You've been there with like all your friends and shit. You thinking like you finna be here for a minute, like you just
Right.
what your life is, and then it's like, nah, we gotta go. And then that's what kind of showed me it was like, yeah, nigga, you might as well not even get comfortable because you about to be gone. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you move like every 3-4 years, you're out of there. So it was
Right.
like,
Once that contract's up, you're like, oh, okay, like what's next? Like,
yeah, it was like, yeah, don't even get comfortable with it, bro.
do you think? Because I know that for myself, I always like take that as like since I lived in Lawton for so long, I had like seen so many interchanging faces and people from so many different backgrounds and whatnot. And like for you to move around so much, do you think like meeting all those people from all those different walks of life and all those different parts of the country and whatnot, do you think that that helps you in your like creative process and making your music?
Yeah, definitely. It's always a story to tell, and I feel like I like it's something like it's like and it's crazy because so Lawton taught me so much in so little so little time. Like honestly, like Lawton is so fucking crazy. Mind you, I was only there till I was 7, and I used to visit every so often. And I remember when I graduated high school, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get on my big boy shit now, because my parents were strict as fuck. Like there was no type of freedom. Like I think when I was 18, like I think my curfew was still like 12. like
Dang.
like my parents was like strict as shit. Before then, my curfew was like 10. Like they did not let me off no type of leash. So I remember when I turned 18, I was like, yeah, I'm finna get on my big boy shit. I'm finna go ahead and move to Lawton with my cousins, and we finna just bullshit. I'm not even thinking about really like growing up and getting a job and this, that, and the third. I'm like, nigga, I'm finna move back to Lawton, move in on my auntie, because I already know my auntie was gonna let me get away with whatever the hell I wanted to do. And we finna just run these streets, bro. No, sir. I remember I got to Lawton, bro. Like so much shit was happening so fast. Like before you could really even think about it, bro. I probably was there for like a month. And I remember calling my folks. Maybe I think like maybe 2 months. And I remember calling my fucking parents up, and I'm like, yo, I'm about to come back. Like this shit is not working out. Like, and I remember my mom was just like, yeah, like I told you so. Like she, you know what I'm saying? She like, nigga, I already knew you was gonna come back. Like it is like so like yeah, like meeting all these different types of people, it definitely helps like write music because you learn so much. Like when you meet like being in the military, you kind of meet the same kind of people, I want to say, as far as like what they've been through. But then when you
Right.
meet other people who they're not aware like or informed about this military shit, like and they grew like this is their soil from when they first was born, and you see how
Bro.
they like really go through life and the challenges that they go through that you might have to deal with now because you there. Like it's just all stuff that you go through, and you just got like different stories you can tell.
Bro, it's that mind blowing aspect because I mean like I remember like when kids would come in the law and be like, all right, bro, so you need to know this, and this. You go on that side of town for this, you go here, you stay on this side of town at this time, like right about it, like stuff like that, you know. And then it's like I moved to Arlington. I'm like, bro, so what do I do? Like, where where can I go and when can I go? And they're like, what? And I'm like, bro, like, who am I supposed to talk to? Like sitting there like feeling out classrooms, like, all right, yo, so you look like you know this and that, and like you look like you know where to be, like this and that, but you know, it's just kind of like it's a whole different mentality like when you go into a
Yes,
whole new
it
place, you
is.
know.
Yes, sir, it is, man.
The last question that we're gonna try to do this season, really, to wrap everything up, is what is your favorite verse of all time from any rapper or any song, really? What's just your favorite verse?
Mm, my favorite verse. I really, I really want to say I got. Damn, it's it's two of them that I really fuck with that I always come back to when this comes up. I really fucked with I really fucked with Jay Z's. Three of them actually. I fucked with two of them and Jay Z. I fucked with Jay Z's first verse on "Can I Live." That's a classic. Um, and his verse on Ham. His verse on Ham is slept on. Like he really glided through that whole verse, that whole track. He literally glided through that shit. And then Kendrick's verse on Po Man's Dream.
Okay.
That is a classic right there too.
But what's the thing that sticks out to you like the most out of all three of those, and like, or what about all three of those sticks out to you the most?
It's really the way it's the word choice, like the word choice that they use, like all three of those verses, they're not really like punchline verses, but it's just like the story as it builds, the words they choose, you know what I'm saying, the words they choose to use, the flow that they use, it's like one of those verses like where they're not really, it feels like they're not even rapping. You know what I'm saying? It feels like they really just having a sit down convo with you on some real shit. Like those are the type of verses. Those are the type of verses that I strive to write, and those are the ones like that I like to hear. Like it's like it's like when you hear those type of verses come on, it's like you're not even listening to it through a speaker. It's like the nigga sitting right next to you, just talking to you on some business shit, or just talking to you, you know what I'm saying? Like you really feel what that nigga's saying.
Boooka, we really appreciate you coming on the show, man. Before we wrap up, do you have anything you want to plug? Any social media? Where can we find your music?
Really the only social media I'm on, @Boooka Nation, and that's with 3 O's on Instagram. That's where you see most of my promo shit going on there, even though I don't like promo. But fuck with me on there because that's where I'm most active on. And definitely make sure that y'all follow my SoundCloud and my Spotify. Always get notified on anything that I got.
All right, bro. Facts, bet. Yeah, we really appreciate you coming on. Look, I'm happy to know that somebody made it out of Lawton, bro. that all my homies back there aren't just sitting there stuck, bro. They have a chance.
Yeah, we definitely got. I definitely got a lot more work. But I definitely am very grateful of the steps that I've taken so far.
All right, bro. Thanks for coming on, bro. Peace.
Peace, man. Y'all take it easy.
Damn, this man is gambit, man. It's just for the cause he handed. Panic, no, goddamn it, I planned it.